TT20, gone. TT21, gone. TT22, Ian Lougher. What do you make of it all? Hello, and nice to see you again.
Yeah, and you, Chris. Yeah. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's been a long, strange time, isn't it? Got my neck. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to make of it, really. Just can't wait to get to a race meeting again and do some stuff.
When was the last time you sat on a bike and did something?
I did Scarborough last year, 2020. 2 meetings at Scarborough was the last time. So September. And I'm heading to Scarborough for next weekend.
Okay, that's obviously the Spring Cup, which is a bit later than normal. And obviously things are starting slowly to get back to normal. But what have you been doing in the meantime? Obviously, bright preparation in the garage, in the shed. What have you been up to?
Yeah, a few different things. I got quite a lot of old RS250, TZ250, sort of restoring them a little bit. I'm not a really restorer, but I'm doing my best. So yeah, I've been doing that bit of got a CBR 600, which I've got, which is a 2021 bike.
Ooh.
Which they're not bringing to the UK officially, because nobody buys 600s anymore, so which is a real shame. But it'd be a good bike for in the Japanese market. They're using it over there, and in the Asian market. So we decided to bring one across, and so we try and get a rider on it for the stock 600 and the BSB maybe, or for the Isle of Man next year or something. But I haven't got a rider yet anyway. And we've been struggling for parts, obviously, because nobody's making any parts as such, only Honda. It's been difficult to get it ready and up and running. So I'm hoping for maybe July or August to try and get it out with a good young lad on it for stock 600 maybe, or something, just to get it out there and see how we go, And we've had it on the dyno. It's very good. Okay. So, we're getting there. We're still waiting for fairings and bits and pieces. So that's been keeping me busy. And to be honest, it's been quite nice, because not getting bikes and, getting in there. I enjoy going in the workshop anyway when it warms up a bit. So the winter's not been very nice, but it's been nice to get on with something new and something different, and there'll be a lot of interest in it as well. There's quite a few people been interested in it and see how it goes, and so RNG, one of our sponsors, that they're keen to get something new out there. They sponsor the BSP series, and they've been supplying me bits and pieces that will fit, because a lot of the old stuff on the older bikes, the last model was 2013, I think, was the last CBR 600. So, but a lot of that stuff fits, so it's quite good.
Obviously, the last time you were here on the Isle of Man was seems a long time ago now, but you got to think back. Before that, did you ever miss an Isle of Man for so many years, since the early 80s, when you first came here for the Manx and stuff? You didn't miss many, did you?
I didn't miss one. No, I did every year from 1983 right the way through to 2019. And then some years I did the Manx as well, or the classic TT as well, whatever. So it's a lot of mileage around there, and all of a sudden, maybe I forgot where it goes now when we get down the trail again next time.
left at Quarterbridge. Gets cancelled. And obviously missing the Ballown meeting as well. One of your favourites.
Yeah. Although I officially retired.
Yeah, I know that, but you're still, you're still out at Scarborough. You're still doing bits, but missing Ballown, that's a big thing. That's a big part of your life, was it? Your bike life.
Yeah. Ballown, the 700, and the the pre-TT meeting and post-TT meeting, etc. was the club of probably the best in the world, as we said before. Friendly meeting, and this is my first road race I ever did in 1983. So even before the Manx that year, So I've really enjoyed the 700 and the Ballown circuit, and yeah, you're right. I really missed it. Although I wasn't going to be racing there, I was probably taking a rider there. This year and last year. So.
Did you ever do Derby Road? I can't remember if I asked you that one before.
Yeah, I did it once, and that was That was 83 as well, I think. And I actually had a broken collarbone, which I got from 2 weeks before at Snetterton. And I was in that race at Snetterton. I was just starting out, really. It was 83 or 84. I think it was 83. And Barry Sheen was actually still riding. That's how long ago it was. And it was the Race of Aces meeting. And we went there with Ray Cowles, who was sponsoring me. And he said, we'll take the RG. He said, right, and this was really old RG compared to, Barry Sheen's or all the other guys, and I was starting out anyway. And I did practice, and, I was getting blown into the weeds because I didn't, I wasn't up to that level really then. I was just just about national level. So obviously I had a national license and it was a national meeting from that, if I remember right. And I remember going into the first corner, and the engine goes quiet. In those days, it was quite common, like two strokes to seize on you and spit you off or whatever, and you end up with a broken column. So I went the first corner, and the engine sort of went slightly quiet, and I grabbed the clutch and thought, was that a seizure? No. So you come out of the corner thinking you're upright compared to racing speed, but I dumped the clutch, and it had seized. So I went through the screen, typical thing, it's grass, medical centre, ambulance, hospital. So I was knocked out and broken collarbone. So anyway, 2 weeks later then, went to the Derby Road, and I remember I had a figure of 8 bandage on around my shoulders now, try and keep me upright sort of thing. And how I rode the thing, I don't know, because it was push start on that long straight.
Yeah.
And I pushed it, and of course they were quite high in those days, and I'm quite small, and I couldn't get it going. I'm last away. The time I got it going, every gone. So I came through, and I think I finished 6th on it, and I really enjoyed it. But once I got going, the adrenaline kicked in, and it didn't hurt so much. But pushing the thing was terrible. But that was my experience with it. But the length of that straight is huge.
It is long, isn't it? People talk about the 7 mile straight they used to have over there, the old Ulster Grand Prix track years ago. There's a massive long straight there, years before you were even riding and stuff like that. Back to the Isle of Man, though, because obviously it has a big place for your heart for coming in. We can see all the trophies up above your head there. That's how much this place means to you. You have them all on display. And to miss it for a couple of years and then plan to come back for next year, any plans in place for that, for an Ian Lougher team to be here, TT especially?
Yeah, we plan to do the same as we were planning in 2020, which is Jim Hind will join us on one of the Mark Coverdale patterns.
He's a good lad, isn't he?
He's a very good lad and a nice lad as well.
Nice and level-headed, isn't he? Nice and level-headed.
He is, and I've been involved with a lot of young riders and whatever, in the team and stuff. But he is one smart cookie. I know he's riding for us at Scarborough next week on our ZX6 Kawasaki and the pattern, Italian pattern. So and I followed him around there, and it doesn't take him long to learn something. And he's not like the normal young sort of hot-headed, like I was when I was that age, running wide and taking risks. He really is, or looks to be anyway, really level-headed. So he'll be joining us on our pattern. He's got his own other sponsor, I think, lined up for 600, and I think a Suzuki as well in the big class.
Because he's a good 250 lad as well, isn't he? You're going to run one of them again?
Yeah, he's got his own 250, which he bought himself. So he's going to ride that at Scarborough.
Brilliant. Okay.
I guess the classic TT as well.
Okay.
So he beat me the last time in the classic TT.
He did.
And he did, yeah. And he had a 30-second penalty. So he's that good. So really good.
So maybe James Hind at the TT for Ian Lougher, is that possibly something to just put out there for the moment?
Yeah, that's what he'll be riding. He'll be riding one of our patterns, but not on the other bikes. He's got his own sponsors for the others. Stefano Bonetti will be joining us on one of the patterns, and Joe Laughlin also.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe joined us, and he's going to be doing a couple of BSBs for us this year just to keep his hand in. And he did very well for us. He rode for us in 2019 at the Ulster, and never ridden the thing before, and finished second twice. Almost won both the Super Twins races.
He did, yeah. He rode
Again,
very well, yeah.
Yeah, really talented lad, and a nice lad as well, you know.
Don't you wish you were their age again?
With the experience I've got now, yeah. not like starting out again. And remember how hot-headed and, you know, not hot-headed, maybe not the right word to put it, but you're just 20 and 21 or whatever I was when I started. 19, I think I was started. And to have the experience I've got now and be that age, it's mega. That's why it's nice to be able to work with someone like the younger lads and sort of try and give them that experience and try and cut corners for them. You know, a bit like Leon Haslam has got with his dad, and you know, to be able to help, and it stops you having those broken collarbones and puts you out for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, you know, and hopefully it makes it a little bit safer as well, you know.
There's a lot of the older races are still going. You've got John, you've got Bruce, you've got all the other guys at the TT, but they've got to watch themselves, haven't they? You know, you've got young Hind coming up, Joe Locken, another one coming up, lots of good young talent coming up, so they better start looking over their shoulders, better they?
Yeah, and 2 years away from it as well, you know. Well, that'll help the older riders because they know where they're going more than the younger riders don't. Or, I don't know, or whether they're 2 years older, obviously, as well, you know, like Michael Rutter and John McGuinness, they're pushing
50.
64 now, is it?
No, 78, just a year behind you, 77, yeah.
And I lie about my age.
Well, we know this. Listen, it has been really nice to speak to you, and you got a new dog as well since we talked to you last year, which is quite nice. That kept you busy a bit?
It has, yeah, it's been fantastic, you know. Yeah, my dad died in November there with COVID.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, sorry to hear that. I did hear.
Yeah, no, thanks. No, it's he was in a home, and then COVID got into the home and killed him. He was 93, so you know, it's what you say, you know, really. And then, but Asa's mum fell down the stairs in Japan, so she had to go home slightly earlier. So that was a bit of a chaos, you know, with the COVID and things. So it was nice to have the dog, you know. Ticky, we call her. She's a malicious schnauzer, so it was nice to have her and you know, have something to, you know, focus on a little bit.